Welcome to the National Post Politics Bureau, where it is, Catherine, the day before Canada Day, and that means that the Liberal government has passed its Bill C5 just in time. This is Mark Carney's major projects bill, his internal trade bill. Last week it passed the Senate. Very little resistance to this in Parliament, eh, Catherine?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the House of Commons, it had the support from most of the Liberals and all of the Conservatives, only a little bit of resistance from the Bloc, the NDP, and the Green Party. But in the Senate, it passed without any amendments, and, just so our readers understand, the Senate, if they had put any amendments to this bill would have had to go back to the House of Commons for another vote. So, there was really a lot of pressure for the Senate to actually go really fast on this. There was some criticism, though.
It would have brought MPs back from their summer holidays if they amended it, right?
Absolutely, and they would have probably blown past this deadline. But, a lot of criticism from the senators who were essentially asked to rubber stamp this legislation. So really, they tried to pass some amendments. They were ultimately defeated, but yeah, it is now the law of the land, and the Liberal government can go ahead with some major projects soon. And
so there was very little resistance in Parliament. We have had some sense that there might be some broader protests about this. First Nations, environmental groups. Are you expecting that?
I mean, certainly, this really cast a chill on relationships that the Liberals were really building with Indigenous peoples. Certainly, I think there's been a lot of criticism from Indigenous groups that they were not properly consulted leading up to this bill. They had very little time to actually, give their input, to actually consult about the bill, to look into the bill. I mean, a lot of First Nations especially are fighting the wildfires at this moment. But look, there is, some people have said this could lay the ground for an Idle No More 2.0. I think what Prime Minister Mark Carney did is he announced, a few days ago, seeing all this criticism, that there would be some summits with First Nations and Inuit people in July separately, and maybe in August with the Métis peoples. So he's going to hear from them. He's going to, I think, try to appease the waters a little bit. But yeah, certainly, this could lead to some problems down the road. It all depends which major projects are actually going to go ahead, and if consultations are actually done properly with Indigenous peoples.
Yeah, we got our first look at some polling on this too last week, and the interesting Angus Reid poll where it seemed like from this poll that environmental issues are the key problem for most Canadians. First Nation stuff, I think, is on the radar, but I think if you're the Liberal government, that's the thing you're worried about right now.
Oh, absolutely. Because overall, I think that the concept of, internal trade, first of all, this is almost unanimous. 88% of Canadians are actually in favor of this, of, knocking down internal trade barriers. The major projects bill, just the fast tracking of projects, I think that also had broad support. We're talking about, 3/4 of Canadians who were in favor of this. But yeah, I think there are a few red flags. Certainly, this idea of bypassing some environmental laws. I mean, half of Canadians, according to this Angus Reid poll, have issues with that, have concerns, and then it varies across every province in terms of bypassing possibly some provincial assessments. Notably in Quebec, but also in British Columbia, there is a lot of concern on that front. So overall, C5 has broad support, I think, yes, from parliamentarians, but also from Canadians. But I think there could be some issues down the road for the government that they should be aware of.
Okay, and we'll be here to watch it. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Catherine, and thank you for watching. Happy Canada Day.